Well, this is probably one of the craziest quads I've ever picked up. This is a Honda TRX 450R frame with a Honda TRX 250R two-stroke engine in it with an upgraded 310cc ESR top end. Thing is basically brand new. Everything was gone through on it. Everything was upgraded. Everything is pretty much as good as you can get on this machine. New plastics, new seat cover, new tank, new pipe, new cylinder, new piston. Everything was rebuilt. All new bumpers, powder coated frame, new A-arms, new tires, beadlock wheels, ASR levers, pro taper bars, new grips. I mean, it is top of the line. And this was a $4,500 quad. And I think that was a pretty good deal. I think right now you could throw it up online and probably get closer to $8,000. I mean, everything is really, really nice on it. But it does have a couple issues. So the seller said that he bought it from a guy that used to race it. And that's the guy that did all the work on it. He was racing one day, and I guess the airbox came out and it got crunched up. So right now it's missing the airbox and the air filter. And I think that's why nobody has ridden it since. And I think that was in 2003, I believe. So the seller said that he hasn't ever ridden it. He started it up a couple times and he thinks the head gasket's leaking. So he never rode it, but he said it kicks back pretty hard with that 310 kit on there. He said he almost broke his leg kicking it over. So that'll be fun. But he said, yeah, it just wasn't running right. So we are going to go through the whole machine today, see what this thing needs, order up all the parts, and hopefully get this thing fixed. But man, is it a very beautiful quad. Thing is really, really nice. Walking up to this thing, it's almost unbelievable how nice this thing is. Let's get a couple close-up shots. On the pipe, it looks like maybe some skin got burnt. The pipe is massive on this thing. ESR pipe, I think these go for close to $1,000 for the pipe alone. I know the kits online are like $1,200 so right there you're looking at over $2,000 for the pipe and the cylinder. And then you've got the updated head on there. It looks like a polished case here. You've got the Wrath, little Nerf bars. I mean, everything adds up to probably close to $5,000 or $6,000, I'm assuming. Seat cover, brand new. Plastics, brand new. Got the oversized tank. I'm guessing it was used for cross-country races. Chain's getting a little rusty. You got the Boyson cover there, V-Force reeds, original carb. I'm guessing this is some type of decompression mechanism up here. Not quite sure. Got the Alba hardware here. I'm guessing these are 450 shocks. Wrath front bumper. Looks like you got the stabilizer here. All new brake lines. ASV levers. I mean, yeah, she's pretty nice. Tires are flat. I'm letting this sit. But basically brand new tires. Skid plate. Let's see how hard this thing is to kick over. Alright, so because this thing's been sitting for a while, we're going to kind of go through the whole thing, check it out. I really don't know the history on this thing too much. Other than that, the guy that raced it pretty much redid everything. So everything's pretty much brand new, but we're still going to go through it and see what's going on. Because the seller said it kind of ran a little bit weird. So let's kind of go through it. We'll start with the oil first. See what's going on there. All right, let's get that off. Otherwise, if you use a regular pliers without the little grip on it like that, it'll damage that cap. All right, we're checking to see if the oil is milky. Looks a little dark. Not milky at all, so we know that the water pump seal should be good. But yeah, she's pretty dark. Probably needs to be changed out. At the right capacity, oil will just pour out of here. Alright, looks like we're a little bit low on oil. It's not pouring out. Let's just see if you tip it over a little bit. Kind of wiggle it. Yeah, we're a little bit low. You can see oil on the dipstick when I stick it in there, so I think it's just on the verge of pouring out. The coolant is right here. There's the fill. Tight in there. Let's see if we can get that cap off. I don't know if you can. You might have to. There we go. Oh, is there any coolant in there? Oh yeah, you can see it right there. So it's almost topped off. Just a tiny bit low. But yeah, there's coolant in there. That's good. Throttle's working, kinda. Oh, it's a little sticky. Yeah, that's really sticky. I don't hear it go back down at all. I don't hear the slide going back down. I'll have to check that out. Brakes are working. Yep. See if the clutch pulls in. Clutch pulls hard. I'm guessing there's heavy duty springs in there. Alright, so this is where I need suggestions. Maybe some help from you guys. So, as you can see, it's missing the airbox completely and the air filter. So because this is a 250R engine, will the 450 frame original airbox work for this machine? Because the airbox typically on a 450, doesn't it go up above here, this bar? Or does it go below? I'm not sure. And will it fit the stock 250R carb, the key-in carb? Or am I gonna have to make some modifications to the airbox? If anybody has another machine like this out there, let me know what you guys did. Because I'm thinking about ordering up the stock airbox for it. But I don't know if that rubber manifold going down is going to be correct, that rubber boot. I guess we can just order it up and try, but it'd be easier if somebody's already done it before. I'm guessing some people run pod filters on there too. But I'd rather have the airbox on there with the airbox lid. But yeah, that's kind of the way it looks. So there's probably a mount here, and right down here for the airbox. I'm not sure how that fell off when the guy was racing it. This machine also came with the stock gas tank as well. This is an oversized gas tank. The stock one's right over here. I think we might throw that on. I like the look of the stock one a lot better. Not a huge fan of the oversized gas tank. All right, gas line right here. Looks like it came with a filter. Let's try to get this off. Looks like gas was pouring out. Take a peek at what that gas looks like here. All right, we're gonna try reserve. Good gas flow on reserve. We'll try on. All right, that looks good. So just by smelling it, that is 100% race gas. So yeah, this thing definitely runs on race gas. Obviously a high compression piston in there then, and I'm guessing this thing has well over 200 psi when kicking it over. So yep, it's definitely mixed, definitely race gas, and I don't see any water in it. So that's good. Let's go ahead and get the gas tank off so we can get to that spark plug. We've got the little heat shield plate here we're gonna get off. Alright, taking a peek in here. Got the boot. Twist that off. See if it's making good contact. Oh yeah, that was making good contact. You've got your coil here. Surprisingly, that's just zip tied on. It looks like the original coil mount was here. But all the coil wires nice and tight. Everything looks correct there. I'm curious to see if the CDI is upgraded on these. I used to have a TRX310 and it had a different CDI from stock, and it would kick back really bad. There it is right there. You can see it's zip tied on there. It's hard to see what the brand is. It almost looks like the stock one. Yeah, I believe that's stock. We might have to cut those zip ties and take a closer look, but yeah, there's no markings on it at all. So I believe that's a stock CDI, that's good. Get that boot back on. Well, let's take out the spark plug, see how this thing was running. Looks like it was running perfect. Check this out. Nice and brown. It's really dark brown, but it's really nice brown color. I don't think the camera picks it up, but it's not black, it's actually brown. NGK BR9 ECS plug. So that looks really good. Let's see if we get spark kicking this thing over. And we'll see if it does kick over here now that the compression is a little bit lower. Yeah, that's extremely smooth, kicking it over. Alright, hopefully you guys can see in there. Alright, kick it over a couple times, see if she sparks. This thing doesn't have a kill switch, I think it only has a tether. So that's in, that looks good. No key or anything, so it should spark here. sparking. It's not very bright, but there we go. Hopefully you guys can see that spark never kick. So spark definitely looks good. We're going to do a quick head gasket check. A lot of these high compression machines can blow head gaskets pretty quick. So what we're looking for is compression leaking through the radiator here. So we're gonna put the spark plug in, kick this thing over, and if the head gasket is leaking or blown, compression will seep through the ports for the coolant and go into the radiator, and then it should squirt coolant everywhere if it's blown. Without the spark plug hooked up, and we'll see if it pours coolant everywhere. Get this out of the way. Alright, taking a look at the radiator. Just watch that. Let's see what happens here. Get on this machine. We shouldn't see any bubbles or anything. There's some compression there, holy cow. I wonder what the compression is on this thing. Not seeing anything coming out of the radiator. So we're probably good there. But man, oh man, that compression is high. And I think I found out why this stuff is on the pipe. Check it out when you kick it over. Your boot hits the pipe right there. You basically have to use your toes, otherwise your foot's hitting. So I don't think that was skin. I think that was a boot. The rubber boot burning on the pipe. So far so good. It looks like it was running perfect at one point. We are going to stick a camera down there, check out that piston, see what that looks like, and then we'll check out the cylinder walls. All right, let's take a peek in here with the camera, see what we can see. All right away we see the piston size there. Let's zoom in. Alright, it looks like this is 7226 W845P1, and the top is 12663M07226. Arrow is pointed in the right direction. Yep. Look at, there's actually an arrow marked on the cylinder. I've never seen that before. Look at that. Arrow on the cylinder lining up with the arrow there. That's funny. That must have been what the seller did. Or the builder of the engine. Piston looks basically brand new. I don't see any carbon on there at all. That's probably because it's running race gas. Man, oh man, that looks really nice. Let's put the piston down a little further. We can see the cylinder wall. Alright. Alright, there are the ports. This thing has a power valve. Huh. I didn't know that. I think that's what that is. That's a power valve, right? I wonder if that thing, I don't know if I showed you guys last time, that's not a decompression mechanism. I think that might be a power valve. Is it like an added power valve to this engine? Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't see where it connects to anything though. That is interesting. I mean, cylinder wall, piston, everything looked brand new in there. Wow. Well, that's reassuring. Everything looks good. Everything checks out. Well, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Let's see how much compression this thing has. I'm guessing like 220. Gotta be over that. Gotta be somewhere close to that. It feels like it has a ton. Alright, we're gonna do throttle open and just kick this thing like crazy. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get a good reading here. 3, 2, 1. It's getting up there. Oh, over 200. What are we at? Like 219. That's pretty high. So anything over 200 you want to run race gas. So yeah, good thing we're running race gas then. That is quite the compression. That is a lot. So I'm guessing that's probably why this thing was hard to kick over. So definitely enough compression to run. So we have spark and compression. Let's check out the carb. Maybe something's going on with the carb. All right, let's get this carb out, see what's going on. We saw that the throttle was a little sticky. We're gonna see what's going on there. I think maybe the gas tank was kinking that throttle cable line, possibly. Going down there. But we'll see. Should just pull right out. That was really easy. We'll have to check that boot too, make sure there's no rips in the boot. Let's take a look, see what that slide was doing. Alright. There, now it's actually hitting the bottom. I think it was stuck up a little bit like that. So we'll have to make sure that has enough slack in there when we reinstall it. There we go. Oh man, that was on there. Alright, take a look at the needle, make sure that's not bouncing up and down. Slide looks good. As I said before, it's got the original key and carb. Yeah, it looks like the carburetor was actually, almost looks like it was ported out here, the intake. See that there's lines going around here. Yeah, same within here. It looks like somebody made that bigger. Let's see if there's any gas in there. Oh, there's a little bit. Not a whole lot. Oh, that was on there. Actually looks like this line was melted here too. Wonder if that was causing issues. Look at that. That whole line's melted there. Oh, that could be the problem. I wonder if that was unable to let air through. Seems like it's letting air through though. But that was definitely melted. That must have been next to the pipe. Gas is coming out. Let's see if the bowl was full of stuff. Oh yeah. Well, that's not good. Look at all the gunk in there. Definitely had some. Almost looks like water in there. Alright, see if the float was working. Yep, needle's working good. That's interesting. That looks like a plastic jet. Huh. Doesn't it? I think that might be plastic. Let's take that out and take a look. Never seen a plastic jet before. Let's take the pin out first for the float. That came right out. There's the float. Needle. Yeah, that's definitely plastic. Look at that. Plastic main jet. It's clear. Does it have the size on it? Take a peek. Yep, even has the size on it. 160. 160 main. It's engraved in it. 160. Alright. Well, that's the first time I've seen a plastic jet. Let's take out the pilot. Take a peek at that. Alright, the pilot. We're running a 45 pilot. Oh yeah, she's clogged up pretty good. See, the pilot is clogged. Alright. And there's going to be an air screw right here. A little dirty, gunked up in there. So it turns out. Exactly one. So we'll set that to the exact same setting, since the spark plug looked perfect. There we go. We'll take the choke out. Doesn't hurt to check it since we already have it apart. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, so what we're going to do is let this sit in the ultrasonic cleaner for about 20 minutes. Should get all that gunk off the outside. The inside looked pretty good. Really nothing wrong with that. The bowl had a little gunk in there, but wasn't horrible. And then the lines are kind of gunked up, so we'll let everything sit, come back and reassemble. Alright, here we go. Got the carb out of the ultrasonic cleaner. All it took was about 15 minutes. And the thing looks brand new again. So, just a light cleaning and she's back to looking brand new. All the jets are cleaned out. We're good to go for reassembly. Alright, carb is all put back together. We went ahead and blew through all the lines here. Those are all unclogged. Everything looks good. Alright, taking a look at the needle just for future reference. Let's see what that is at. And you can take that out like that. Alright, now we're looking at the needle clip position. There we go. It's coming. Needle fell out. Alright. So clip position is second to the lowest setting. I believe stock is the middle setting. And then I looked up the stock jetting as well. Stock jetting was like 152 for the main and 48 for the pilot. So they actually went down on the pilot to a 45 and then up on the main to a 160. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But needle, it looks like, is a little bit richer than the stock setting. Alright, next we're going to take a look at the boot here and the reeds. I wonder if there's a crack in the boot somewhere causing an air leak. Take a peek. what's going on with that. Try not to rip the gasket. There we go. Alright, so the boot was definitely modified as well. You can see it was all cut here. Shaved down there. No cracks or rips in the boot at all though. Looks good. But yeah, look at it, it's shaved down right here. Boot checks out. And the reeds. Got a gasket on here. Got two gaskets. Tap that off quick. There. Just like that. Try to get that gasket to come with it. There we go. Reeds look awesome. They definitely look brand new, don't they? Can't see any light through those reeds at all. They're opening. Yeah, those are perfect. Those look great. So those are definitely brand new. Alright, and then looking down at the piston through here. Just rotate that through. Yeah, no scoring on the piston at all. Looks really good. Alright, let's get this carb back on. Make sure that slide's going all the way down. Bottoming out. This is going to go through here. Get the line situated after we get the carb on. There we go. Alright, carb is back on, looking good. Let's get the plug back in. Plug back in there, and then we'll get the boot back on and attempt to fire this thing up. Well, she's all back together, ready for the first start. So we're gonna kick this thing over a couple times, see what happens. Hopefully it fires up and runs good. We'll see. The seller said there are some issues with it, so hopefully we resolve those with the carb clean. Choke it. Go. Oh, she's fired up. Look at that, even idling. No leaking. responsive. Sounds pretty good. That pipe is loud though. Holy. Oh. Coolant leak. There's a coolant leak right there. Sounds mean, doesn't it? Smoking good. Sounds pretty darn good. Comes right back down to idle, so no air leak. I'd say it's running pretty good. There is a coolant leak. I did find that. Of the pipe over here. I don't know where it's coming from, it looks like. Looks like where that connects to the head here. I don't know if that clamp is a little bit loose. It's almost like right underneath the clamp is where it's coming from. See that? It's pooling down there. Huh. It almost looks like where these two metals meet right there actually, because it doesn't go above that piece there. Oh look, there's coolant up there. So it's coming all the way down from there and going back down here. So it looks like it's leaking from, actually all these bolts are leaking. Look at that. I think all the nuts are leaking coolant. Yeah, that's leaking coolant. That one's leaking coolant. What is going on there? Well, that's weird. Every single nut on the head is leaking coolant. Huh. Are these over here? Nope, these aren't. These are all dry. Yeah, those are all dry. So the three on this side are fine, the three on the other side are leaking. Yeah, that one's leaking bad, and that one's leaking bad, and it looks like it's coming down, dripping down right down there. So, definitely has a leak. We're going to take a wrench to those and see if those are tightened down enough. They have the crush washers on them, so they shouldn't be leaking. Yeah, it's definitely coming up through those two. Alright, so right now it's running perfect, idling good. I don't think there's a head gasket leak at all, but there's coolant leaking from the acorn nuts on the head. And I'll show you guys this one in particular. So you can actually wipe the coolant away, but it just like reappears. So it's definitely leaking from the actual acorn nut. So that tells me that either the washer isn't sealing right there, or the acorn nut failed somehow. But yeah, you can see, you wipe away the coolant on the top, and it just pours back out the top there. See that? So it's doing it with that one and that one. So we're gonna have to order up some new acorn nuts and some new washers for it. So if those fail, you'll have a coolant leak. But I don't think it's a head gasket. We'd see coolant coming from the head here between the cylinder and the head. And the only leak we see is from it dripping down the head, going down the cylinder there, which makes it kind of look like a head gasket, which the seller thought it was. But yeah, it's definitely the acorn nut and the washer. It's only leaking from these two right here. All right, now that we got this thing all warmed up, the oil should be nice and hot. Let's get the oil drained out, add some fresh oil to it. So the drain bolt is gonna be right, you can kind of see it down there. If you look, it's a big Allen right down there. So a skid plate has to be removed in order to get to that bolt. Nothing on the magnet there for the drain bolt. Lots coming out of there. We'll take a peek at the oil once that's done draining. Hopefully there's no chunks. All right, taking a look at the oil. No chunks at all in there. It's a little dark, but not horrible. And the TRX310 takes, I think it's 0.7 liters if you freshly rebuilt the engine, or 0.6 for an oil change. So we're gonna put 0.6 in. All right, get some fresh oil in here. Wet clutch oil. Dump that in. 0.6 liters, 600 milliliters. Alright, nothing coming out yet. Nothing yet. Oh, there it comes. So I took like 6.1. Alright, let's try to replace that gas tank with a stock one. Oh, that looks a lot better, I think. Oh yeah, that looks really good. All right, personally, I think that looks a lot better. We are going to transfer the gas from the old tank to the new tank using our siphon here. Don't want to waste that race gas. Check that before we installed it. But it's leaking out everywhere right there. Alright, we swapped out the petcocks on the tank. Let's try this again. leaking yet. Alright, that looks pretty good. Probably could use a little bit more black on the seat maybe, to kind of tie in the black gas tank, but it doesn't look bad. Alright, let's see if the back tires pump up. We're going to put about maybe 5 or 6 psi. That's 10 psi. Yeah, good enough. Perfect, both are at 10. Alright, so because it's leaking from the acorn nuts on the head and the washers there, and the air filter's not on it, which it should be on it, we are just going to run it up and down the driveway here quick, just to see what it feels like. I wasn't even going to ride at this video until we got the Airbox, but I can't leave you guys hanging, so we'll throw the GoPro on, get a couple shots of us running up and down the driveway. I just don't want to go into the sand where it's sucking in sand and then lock this thing up from being stupid. So we'll do a quick test drive just to get the feel, and then next video we'll do the full-blown ride out of the land once we get the Airbox. I just don't feel comfortable running this machine, you know, it's a very expensive machine, in the sand without the Airbox on there. it sounds like we're gonna have some tuning to do on this thing once we get the airbox. It's breaking up like 3/4 throttle for sure. So I'm thinking maybe the airbox will help with that. But if not, we're gonna have to rejet this thing and try to figure that out. But I don't want to do it until we get the airbox, otherwise we'll be rejetting again. So we'll wait for the airbox to come and try to hook that up. So again, please, if you guys have recommendations on what airbox to get for this thing, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking a stock 450 should work. Let me quick measure the carb. It's going to be, let's see here. .32 millimeters. So the boot is going to have to fit over that. And then we have to buy 2 8-core nuts and then 2 washers for this thing because it's leaking from those 2. And I think that's pretty much it. So air filter, airbox, 8-core nuts, washer. And I think this thing should be good to go. And then obviously we have jets for it, so we can rejet it once we get all that installed and back on the machine. But at least we were able to get this thing started up today, oiling perfect and running good. Next video, we'll take this thing for the first real ride, really rip it and see what we need to do for tuning. That's the goal for next video. So